Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready?
There's YouTube.
Okay, I hear you. Okay.
Okay.
We good?
Just keep on going. I'm gonna keep setting it up. Let's just go ahead and start.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I see us. We popped up on
I
Instagram
know.
Live.
I'm on too many streams. I'm just like, what page am I supposed to be looking at?
I see us on Instagram Live.
Do we look normal? Our faces up normal?
Let me look. Let me look. Let me look. Let me look, Brent. Let me look. Let me look at it. Well, no.
Oh,
No. We do not. But it's okay.
is
We
it
will
on
make it.
portrait? There should be on portrait.
All right,
Is it
let's
on
see.
portrait?
No, friend. We still look crazy.
Well, hey.
But you can hear us. You can hear us. So, I am not even in. I see your neck, and then I don't see me at all.
Do my neck look whiter than my face on Instagram?
No, it does
'Cause that's
not.
the problem.
Does not. So there's that. But I'm just trying to check to see how we looking on the YouTube side. Because this is new for us. We don't really do these things, but it's always fun to do something
We've
different.
done it one time, but it's been a long time. We need to do it
Yeah,
more often so we
for
won't be
sure.
up here fumbling.
Exactly. But it's cool. Welcome back to the Gridiron Gals podcast. I'm Rita, the NFL chick.
And hey, everybody, it's Chelsea, aka Chelsea's right.
We are at a championship weekend for the NFL. So that means only 2 weekends remain, which is this one, and then of course Super Bowl weekend. So let's get started, Charles. A lot has happened leading up to championship weekend. We've seen some new head coaches get filled. We've seen some people withdraw from head coaching situations. But let's start. I can't see. So got to put my little glasses back on. All right, let's start with the John Harbaugh hiring. And we can kind of go through them really quick. Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I don't really know how I feel about that one. I just, I, he just, I just feel like I just don't know how I feel about that. I, I don't know.
I think, if you are trying to bring culture and you're trying to restore some type of consistency, Harbaugh is great for that. How's that going to move forward with like trying to win the NFC East? Obviously, I don't know, but he does have a lot of good pieces. I will say that. I mean, at some point you'll get Scatterboo back. You have Jackson Dark that's developing. You'll get Malik Neighbors. You have a really good um, defense in the terms of like pass rush. So he has pieces there. So it will just be interesting to see how that works. And if he brings Todd Monken with him, I think that offense will be good. So, um, but how good in terms of like defending or trying to go for the NFC East to be determined. I guess we'll see how that goes. Robert Saleh ended up being the head coach for the Tennessee Titans, the former New York Jets head coach, and then San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator. Your thoughts?
That one, I hope that he can make a difference. He definitely made a difference with San Francisco because we saw that they had so many injuries, and I did not expect them to even get that far. So I think he should have another chance at it. I thought that y'all were going to get him, but you had other plans. But I think he'll be a good fit in Tennessee. I'm happy for Cam Ward there.
Yeah, me too. I like Salah, and I think that we have to take into consideration that the situation with the New York Jets. I mean, I just don't think they're a good organization, and so we have to
Yeah.
start. We have to start. Maybe that's why nobody wants to be a Cleveland Brown head coach at this point. At this point, I'm about to apply. Okay, because
Right.
nobody else wants the damn job. So okay, I'll do it. Just give it to me. I'll do it. But
Right.
somebody got to
Exactly.
do it. But
Exactly.
I think that where people go is important, which I think plays a role into why certain openings are still there. But yeah, I like this for them, and hopefully you can see some immediate turnaround because I don't think that the AFC South is. I know that they were better this year. The Colts had a strong start before they lost their quarterback. But it essentially went down to the Jags, who won the division, crazy enough, and then the Texans, who I think all of us thought was going to win the division anyway. So you can, I think, compete in that division. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Ravens pick up Jesse Minter, former defensive coordinator, was defensive coordinator for the Chargers, but also had a stint in Baltimore as well. Thoughts?
I think you need some fresh young blood there. I really don't know much about Jesse Mentor, so I don't have enough information to form a real opinion. I think that should go back to you. I don't. What are your thoughts?
Fine hire. I mean, there's a lot of people that's like, oh, I don't understand why, getting a guy under the Harbaugh tree because he coached for both Harbaughs, both on the college and the NFL level, because he was at Michigan with Jim as well. But at the end of the day, I don't really love that idea, especially like with this fan base being so obsessed with Mike McDonald. You're obsessed with him, but then says that you want somebody that's not under the Harbaugh tree. Well, both of those guys are literally those examples because both of them coach for both Harbaughs. And also too, Jesse Minter's father, Rick Minter, was a head coach on the college level. He has tons of college experience and NFL experience, and was currently on the Chargers as a defensive analyst. So maybe he's under the mentor tree. Have we ever thought about that? I don't know, people. Like just because you didn't know who his dad was doesn't mean that his dad wasn't doing things already. He once was the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame for quite some time. I mean, he has a good resume, so I think it's fine. I think, like you said, he has young blood. They need a young blood, and I think when you see with the Chargers how they are responding, the defensive players, about how they're going to miss him and how impactful he was, I think that you made the right choice. But I also think that they kind of knew that he was the guy, and they were just interviewing people to see if somebody was going to like wow them to get out of the decision that they were going to make. So, and they didn't, and there's that. And of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers
All involved.
went on ahead and got your boy Charles.
Don't.
He coached for your team, friend. It is what it is. He coached for your team.
That is not what he's known for. I feel like I ain't got no real problem with him. Like I don't have but I also feel like it is very vanilla. That is a very vanilla hire. Like you went from Mike Tomlin. Went from Mike Tomlin to Mike Tomlin.
The Steelers hired former Packers and Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy, if you didn't hear. And now look, what you can say is that now he's checking all the infinity stones in terms of like historic franchises at this point. Packers, Cowboys, now the Steelers, he bracking them up. Pittsburgh guy. But this is so un-Steeler-like for them. They typically get young guys that they can grow with and have for 15 plus years. And no one sees Mike. To me, this is a stopgap hire because they didn't have anybody else that they loved and that they know what they could probably get out of Mike McCarthy being the head coach. Now, what does this mean for Aaron Rodgers, who obviously we know that they won a Super Bowl together? It was rumors that they had kind of like fell off at the end of McCarthy's tenure. But then both of them came out and said that wasn't true. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if Aaron Rodgers says, I want to keep playing football and I want to come back to the Steelers. And, obviously he knows Mike McCarthy. So, but everybody's like, what the fuck, dog? Like, it just doesn't feel like a good hire. I don't know. Just feels like you needed a head coach, and then you went on ahead and said,
You shouldn't be hiring people just because they from that area. Like, who cares that he's from Pittsburgh? That doesn't what? You know, and I mean, it was just like with the Cowboys. Like the Cowboys hired him, and he sounds not, you know, like it's a pretty shiny thing. But he hadn't coached in what 2 years. So like, he was just sitting at home eating his Wheaties and shit. And Cowboys called, so you want to coach? And he said, "Oh sure." Like, well, is that what we want? Or do we want somebody that has looked at a playbook in the last 3 months? Like,
right.
yeah. So like, boy, good luck to all involved.
Good luck to everybody involved. And so, you know, there's obviously some remaining jobs open, like we mentioned, the Browns, I think the Cardinals, and of course, the Buffalo Bills, who we know now, as from our last podcast, Sean McDermott got fired. And then after Sean McDermott got fired, the Pagula family had a press conference and lied through their motherfucking teeth, friend. Talking about Sean McDermott was the one that wanted Keon Coleman. Well, Keon Coleman, by the way, is still on the roster. And shortly thereafter, honey, the people look, the internet is forever. Because then they found a video of the GM being saying, "Oh wow," at the combine, saying, "Oh, Keon Coleman was running real slow. That's perfect for us, so we can draft him." So no, Sean McDermott was not the one that pushed the Keon Coleman agenda, and maybe he did want him, but so did the GM. And then the video came out.
So that was nasty. That was really nasty.
Real nasty. Real nasty. And Keon Coleman, while he probably does have his faults because he had been healthy scratches multiple times in 2025, all of them probably just need a fresh start. Let him go. Look, AJ Brown about to be out of Philly soon anyway. Go ahead and put that man in Philly. I bet you yeah, I bet you.
Oh yeah, I think that if I am Keon Coleman's agent, there is no mechanism for him to be able to stay there. Like,
I agree.
You have to
you don't want me
on something. Yeah, you have to start working on something. I mean, you can't just stay there under those conditions. That's a hostile work environment at this point.
I completely agree with that. So as a result of their vacancy, they brought in people. Of course, they had Joe Brady, who I love. I'm a huge fan of Joe Brady, their current offensive coordinator, and Michael Rivers. Now, y'all know I love me some Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers was just recently the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts to try to help them to get into the playoffs. And then, you know, they didn't because that defense ain't good. And so that kind of let things be the way that they are. So, you know, let me get this out the way because it does come off as white privilege with Phillip Rivers being for the head coach position. Now, I will say this, Charles, many times, people that interview for head coaching jobs are also probably being vetted by ownership for coordinator jobs if they hire somebody else. Yeah. So I don't necessarily think, I've never thought that Phillip Rivers would get the head coaching job. That being said, I mean, after hearing Pagula's press conference, I mean, something off up here. So maybe, I don't know, friend. I don't know, but do we hate the possibility of it?
I mean, I don't hate it, but like it also sounds very dramatic, like very Hollywood. Like we're making a movie here. Phillip Rivers comes out of retirement and then goes and now he's gonna take Josh Allen to the promised land. Like I don't understand.
Definitely scripted.
Yeah, like I don't understand what's going. Yes, there you go. That's what I'm looking for. Scripted. It sounds yeah. Let's not do that. Yeah, it sounds like that. And then like if it works, of course, it's this big, dramatic, wonderful NFL story. But if it don't, everybody's sitting around like, what the fuck was y'all doing? Like you really are doing everything you can to try to justify firing Sean McDermott. I mean, I know that he has come up short in areas that, put it this way, there are other teams that would love to have the kind of 9 years that Sean McDermott had with the Bills. But like, you really fired him because Josh Allen was crying, and then you tried to lie and justify, like you mucked this whole thing up. Why add more by saying, you know what we need? Philip Rivers. Now, as a consultant, I wouldn't be mad. You can be a consultant. You can consult. You can,
I think that's absolutely possible.
especially as another quarterback. Like I know, I think the current quarterback coach is still Ronald Curry, which a lot of people don't know Ronald Curry's name. If you're from Virginia, you know Ronald Curry's name, but like he's good. But like, can Philip Rivers come in as a consultant or something like that? But like a head coach, you want Philip Rivers running your whole team. What was he doing 3 months ago?
Playing football.
No, he wasn't playing football three
Oh, he
months
wasn't
ago.
doing. Oh, he was coaching. He was coaching, but he
He
was
was
coaching
coaching
his
high school
kids.
football
Yeah, he's
three months
coaching his
ago.
kids. Yeah.
5 years removed from the NFL. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. And my thing is that, at the end of the day, I don't think that Philip Rivers is going to be a head coach. I would be surprised if that's how that went. But I'm with you. I do agree that I think it would be cool if you hire Joe Brady, if you promote him from offensive coordinator to head coach, it would be cool to have like Philip Rivers do like a consultant and maybe help the Josh Allen, situation. But I just don't see that happening. I'm sorry. I just don't. You need experience. I'm sorry. This is like JJ Redick, except like Philip Rivers was the much better quarterback than JJ Redick was as a basketball player. I don't know, like you know what I mean.
Right.
So
I agree.
it just doesn't make sense to me. But JJ Redick has also been not bad in his tenure with LA. So anything's possible. I just think you need to give people with experience an opportunity. That being said, Sean McDermott absolutely was the fall guy, and quite frankly, Brandon Beane, the GM of the Bills, is the one that should have been fired because nobody is scared of Shakir. Nobody's scared of Keon Coleman. Nobody's scared of anybody but James Cook on that roster. And that's just the reality of it. Their middle linebacker is the same size as my safety on the Ravens. So yeah, you can run all over their asses. So miss me with that bullshit, okay? I've seen enough. And I know who the real problem is. But thankfully for me, as a Ravens fan that don't like Bills Mafia, y'all might be in the ghetto. And you won't be too much in the ghetto. You're going to be in the trailer park for sure because, Josh Allen is still your quarterback. So you're going to be competitive. That's going to happen. Problem for you is that New England has now decided that they want to come back and be the New England that we used to them being. So good luck to everybody involved there. Divisional weekend, of course. Let's stick to the Buffalo Bills. We saw what happened. Everybody wants to sit here and be mad about that catch being an interception. It's been multiple views of it, and the to me it's all the same, friend. The man never had full possession of it. It's an interception, whether y'all like it or not. And what we keep doing is, we feel so bad for Josh Allen, which I would feel worse for Josh Allen if y'all weren't so if y'all were more in a position of criticizing him when he needs to be criticized. Right.
Yeah.
4 turnovers is nasty work. Okay. I think Josh Allen is a nice young man. Of course, I think I like Josh Allen, Charles. I do. I don't like people that like Josh Allen, which then kind of makes me kind of not want Josh Allen to win anything because I don't ever want those people to be happy ever. So yeah, you sit there, none of y'all beating the Chargers. The media people, none of y'all go on these TV shows the next day, and then you out here like, oh, Josh Allen, my God, like he wasn't fucking responsible for 4 out of 5 turnovers that happened in the game. I'm fucking confused.
I mean, I definitely agree with that part. But like, I think that this is how I feel about, and which I like Josh Allen too. And I think he is worth the hype. I mean, it's a lot of things going on. I think that you should talk about Josh Allen in the same way you talk about Lamar Jackson, in the same
Yes.
way you talk about Jalen Hurts, and the same way you talk about Dak, and all of the ones you should. Everybody should be, kind of the same. I think that Josh Allen does some wild shit out there, buddy. I mean, he does a lot, and I, you can put the game in his hands, and it's in his hands, but that is also a risk. And no matter how you slice it, he turned that ball over 4 times. And that's why he's crying.
Look,
Like,
I want to say bruh man from the fifth floor, but look, I'm not going to even give him that extra one. Okay, it was 5 turnovers. It was 5, but James Cook got to take responsibility for that because they, 4, 4, 4, 1, 2,
yeah,
3, 4.
Yeah, and so then you got to go back into looking at, like, when you see that turning the ball over a whole bunch of times, and we saw that in another game where between the two teams the ball got turned over like 10 times. You're doing too much. But why is Josh Allen doing too much? Because what Sean McDermott said was right. This roster is not built.
It's not
For him.
Not.
I got a roster issue. Help, 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 help.
Which they have a GM for that they just promoted, by the way.
Okay? I got a roster issue, and that's what it is. Because what you do is you have Josh Allen as your wide receiver 1, your tight end 1, your RB 1, and your QB 1. And that is what they want. That's exactly, and that's how they wanted him to play. There are risks associated with putting the entire offense on one person's back.
1,000%. 1,000%.
And then Josh is hurt. Yep. Well, why is he hurt? Because he's been paying 4 positions. So, like, I thought that was a bonehead firing, and it's a bonehead thing. If you are going to fire Sean McDermott, you must fire the GM. You don't get to keep the GM.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then let him sully that man's name like that.
1,000%.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I do think that, when you start seeing people say shit like, oh, Josh Allen is overrated and stuff like that, now we're getting into the part where we're like, hey, now you're just doing too much. You're doing
now
too
you're being
much.
A hater.
The boy can ball. The boy can ball. But the fairness of it, it's just like with Patrick Mahomes. He's undeniable. Like, forget what you saw this year. The boy is undeniable. But we don't talk, it's the way he's discussed. It's discussing like he's infallible. Some of them little sideways pitches, baseball pitches ain't really work out all of that well.
Yep.
But also that's another situation of somebody doing the most because he ain't got the best around him sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Okay. So I don't know what they're doing, but that ownership, that owner and GM, that tandem with the combination of McDermott getting fired, him saying, "Oh, it's because Josh Allen was crying," and then coming down on Keon Coleman like that. Oh, I hope y'all pay for that next year.
Yeah, me too. Well, enjoy the trailer park, okay? Because enjoy the trailer park.
Absolutely.
Another one with 4 and T that actually did get the criticism that he deserved. That had 4 interceptions or 4 turnovers. Is CJ Stroud, okay? CJ Stroud in the divisional game against the Patriots looked fucking terrible, okay? I mean, look, he didn't look great against the Steelers, okay? And obviously it's safe to say that defense bailed him out. I did not think that he was going to have back-to-back horrible games the way that he did, and it was hard to watch. And look, Nico Collins not being there because he got hurt the week before in the Steelers game didn't help at all. And I believe he lost his tight end as well. But no excuses, dog. It was so bad. Now, CJ Stroud had us forget that Drake May had his turnover problem of his own. He recovered 2 of his turn. Well, he recovered 2. So he had 3. He had 3 turnovers. But the thing is that the Texans defense said, hey, we just did this last week, bro. We can't keep doing it. Look, they did all they can do. And they made it a game for as long as they could. Shout out to the Texans defense who has staying 10 toes down in what it is they do on a regular basis, because it is because of them that they had advanced to the divisional round, and it's because of them that they were in that game for essentially majority of the game until they just could not anymore.
Yeah, CJ just decided that he wasn't going to do this anymore.
He said
he just wasn't going to do this anymore. But like you said, but I think that people look at interceptions, they are more glaring than a fumble. And we see a fumble as someone did something to cause that, you know. We see interceptions as you did this. I mean, I think one of them, I will say, I don't know why DJ Moore has stopped running. I guess he figured I'm not doing this no more either, because he stopped running on that one interception, and then that was just it.
Yeah.
But yeah, CJ Stroud didn't look good for the last 2 weeks, and
it's bad, friend. It's really bad. And look, shout out to D'Amico Ryans, the head coach, to say, you know, that's still my quarterback. I'm holding them down. But, you know, I believe that he is eligible for an extension this offseason, CJ. And I mean, I think he lost himself some money, honey. I mean,
yeah,
he just wasn't doing. Shout out to Chelsea for just playing around with all the
I'm
background
over here.
stuff.
I'm having a good time. Why you have to bring Terry back?
Because I seen it. I was like,
yeah, but you can. Hey, just keep talking.
She having a good time over there with the background effects.
I'm over here. I got a side ghost producer on my phone telling me what looks good, what doesn't. Just keep talking. Keep talking. You couldn't be on Saturday Night Live.
I was like, look at her back there playing around.
Yeah, you couldn't be on Saturday Night Live. You'd be like,
oh my God,
look who's in the audience in the middle of the play. Go ahead, keep talking.
All right, the Bears season ended. It was fun, guys. We had a blast. But
I don't want to talk about that.
We went from that great touchdown to that horrible interception. And Charles, I'm sorry, we gotta talk about this because everybody is blasting DJ Moore, and it's valid. He did give up on it. I am not absolving Caleb Williams. They ran a cover 4 there. He had no business throwing that ball. None. Even if DJ Moore doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Even if DJ Moore doesn't stop, that defensive back is with him stride for stride. So you need to check it down, bro. Check it down. Just get the yardage. Live to see another down. Horrible decision and horrible on DJ Moore's part. It's a combo deal here. And apparently they said DJ Moore does this a lot. I didn't know that, but at the end of the day, I know what I saw from what the Rams did, and I know he shouldn't have threw that ball. That's what I know. He shouldn't have threw.
And one thing that typically happens is that good receivers bail out quarterbacks on bad throws all the time. And I think that that's one of those things where we're just like, you're good. You should have caught that. And I mean, in a lot of cases, that's true, you know. So, but yeah, it is usually in situations like that, it is a series of unfortunate events. And like I said, DJ Moore said, I guess he stopped. I mean, I'm sorry, that stop running was funny though.
Yeah, listen,
when he stopped running, that was funny.
He just jogged, and I was like, hey, the defender didn't stop, bro, and. You know, based on, I've watched that play so many times. He was already in front of DJ. So it probably is an incompletion at best. He was going to jump the route. Yeah. And so I'm just like, no, Caleb, no. And he did it. And I was like, fuck. But it was fun. It was really fun. The Bears season was fun. You know, and shout out to Caleb Williams for having the men in Chicago getting these manis and patties. Apparently he has started a whole, what is it called, metrosexual
I'm here for it.
Revolution. Y'all's fingernails is dirty, y'all feet stink, you absolutely need to go get both of them done.
Ain't nothing wrong with being cleaned up and stuff and having your fingernails looking good and your toes done and stuff like that. There's nothing, it makes you feel good about yourself.
Right, exactly. You can just get You can just have it buffet, buffet to shine. You can add clear polish. You don't have to do what Kayla Williams does and add the colors, okay? And let me tell you another thing. Kayla Williams ain't the only person in the NFL getting colors, okay? That's what these young kids do. It ain't gave to them. It ain't nothing. It just means that they bored, and that's what they want to do that day. They want to put color on their nails. That's what they doing nowadays, okay? The YNs putting color on the nails.
The colors. I remember long ago, way back when I was a teenager, back in the Stone Age. And I asked a guy that I was seeing at the time, he used to get his nails done, and he was young, he was 20, 21. And so he would get his nail, he would get manicure, and he didn't get not clear polish, but what is that way where it's a buffer that you use that will make the
Yes.
nail bed shiny.
That's what I said.
Right?
The buffer will
And he
make
would
it
get that.
shiny.
And I had never, listen, my dad and them, they just clip and and the nails be all raggedy, but they just keep, cut them short or whatever. And I said, "You're not afraid that somebody gonna think that you gonna make fun of you because you go get your nails done?" You know what he told me? He said, "I'll take this manicured hand and slap the shit out of somebody."
Oh, see what I'm saying? Y'all gotta stop playing with these people, okay? Stop playing with them.
Hey,
okay.
No little dude. He said, "I'll take this manicured hand right here, and I will slap the shit out."
And he gonna look good in the process. He said his nails
go.
gonna look good in the process, and they not gonna be dirty. Okay, stop using them dirty hands and touching people. And then, we don't have to discuss that 49ers Seahawks game. Chad, that was a hot mess. I mean,
hey, at some point the bottom gonna fall out when
at some point the bottom falls out.
But now. Am I always happy when the ops go out? Absolutely. All my ops.
Meaning the Eagles, same friend. All my ops.
Well, excuse me, I got multiple ops. The Eagles, the 49ers.
Oh, they got ops too. That's true. You're a Cowboys fan. I forgot. Yeah.
And the Packers.
Yeah.
All my ops is gone.
All your ops is gone.
And listen, I just needed my ops to take out my other ops. I needed the 49ers. I said, well, where is the 49ers fan club meetup at? Because I need to make sure y'all are strong. They got the Eagles out the way, and then the Seahawks did what I needed to do. So all my ops is gone. I don't care nothing about nothing going on no more.
The second
I don't have to live through the hell that I was in last year.
The second best feeling from your team winning the Super Bowl is watching your ops go down. I hate watching is fun. I don't care. It's fun, friend. It's fun for me. I can't speak for nobody else.
Yeah,
I over here.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the meltdown, particularly from the Packers. Not as much, like they're number 3 on my ops list. But with regard to the playoffs, but seeing the meltdown for the Eagles, that was tasty. Oh, that was lovely.
Particularly because then the next week you see what happened to San Fran. You're like, damn, that Eagles couldn't beat them.
Hey, listen, and this is the silver lining right here. This is what I told my brother. He's a diehard Eagles fan, and I tried to stay low. I love whenever I'm at home and the Eagles lose, people check on me to make sure I'm in a safe location.
Yeah, because your brother. Yeah.
Hey, because my brother is the real life Gilly.
Mm-hmm.
He is the real life Gilly. The only reason why he don't have a big hat is because I won't find it for him.
Please don't, because I don't want him to be in a caricature.
Listen, he is the real life Gilly. And so I text my dad. I'll be like, hey, you up there with him, you shut your mouth up, because that man. So I told him, I said, here's the silver lining. The Seahawks was going to beat the shit out of y'all. That defense was going to rip. So, hey, you just saved yourself a week,
Yep.
But I enjoyed the meltdown. I enjoyed the infighting. That's what I enjoyed. I had to say nothing. I just peeking I'm looking down under. I enjoyed the infighting. They got some real issues on their offensive play calling situation. I think they got a situation of 2 best friends was coaching and coordinating,
Mm-hmm.
and that relationship should have broke up a long time ago. In which, of course, now we know that he has gotten fired. I think if he hadn't gotten fired, them Eagles fans was gonna riot.
Listen.
Yeah, it's always good when you can pinpoint the issues that your team has, as long as it's something that can be fixed. But nonetheless, I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was good.
Girl, that
Love
game
it.
was so bad. We argued. People argued about that damn interception all the way through that second game because the game was so bad.
Because the other game was so bad.
Because the game was so bad. They're like, well, let's argue some more about that interception. Okay, so it is championship weekend. Let's start with the first game, which is the Patriots at Broncos. Now, as we know, Bo Nix hurt himself. He has broken his
Wild.
ankle. And second to the last game. I mean, second to the last play of the game, apparently, or so, it was like a couple of plays before the end where he was running out of bounds or something like that. And so now they have to go with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback, playing, the New England Patriots, who, again, we saw that they can put the ball on the ground and turn the ball over. And, the Broncos have one of the better defenses. So, do you think that the Broncos can squeak through this without Bo Nix, or do you think Drake May and them is going to pull us out?
I think that the Patriots are going to win this game.
Okay. Yeah, look, if Bo Nix was playing, I'd feel way more confident about the Denver Broncos, right? I don't know what Jarrett Stidham is going to bring. And people could say, well, he ended the season that year that Russell Wilson got benched. I just don't remember nothing spectacular that came from that. So, I mean, probably a good game manager.
I think that I heard something about like he had thrown 4 passes prior to Bo Nix breaking his ankle. And like, if
Well,
we're not talking,
probably this year. Probably this year.
yes, thrown for 4. Well, yes, this year, 4 passes this year.
Okay.
So,
because I needed the context. I was like, when did that fucking happen?
I thought we were talking about this season. So yes,
yeah, that's
4
crazy.
passes this season. Yes.
Yeah.
Since but so I was like, and then like yeah, I don't see it. I mean, the only thing that may benefit them is the fact that there's no tape on them. So
I'm big about that.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that Sean Payton is going to simplify the playbook for him, and that's my problem. My problem is that Sean Payton is going to treat Jarrett Stidham like he's Bo Nix, and I don't think that that's fair to Jarrett Stidham at all. So what's going to happen is that he gonna have him out there trying to throw that football. They already don't like to run the ball, and they don't have J.K. Dobbins because he's not going to play.
That was my next thing.
Yeah, he's not going to play.
If they had a running game that where I'll be like, hey, short passes. Don't you run. Hand the ball off.
Yep.
Like, but you don't even have that.
I agree.
You don't even have anything where you can make yourself more dynamic. So I fear that he is going to be looking up at the sky more often than he has ever looked up at the sky.
Now, I think that the Broncos will make this a game in the sense of like their defense is good. Really
Yeah.
good. So
their defense is going to need to score.
Yeah, but that's y'all got to turn them turnovers into points, and if you don't do that, you're not going to win the football game.
And that is why the Patriots struggled against the Texans. How many times y'all didn't turn it over? Y'all didn't turn it into points. Like if you looked at that game, it was amazing that game was so close for so long. But neither one of them really capitalized off the points. I think that, and not to just go back to another game, but I think that the Texans had a defensive touchdown, and which was helpful. But if you take away that, so like you got to capitalize on the turnovers, and absolutely. But the Broncos defense is going to need to score.
I agree, got to score, but. Again, I just think that, Stidham, if Sean Payton tried to treat Bo Nix like Jarrett Stidham, they in trouble. I'm going with the Patriots too. Then you have the later game, which is Rams at Seahawks. We know that this is a divisional game. Sam Darnold will play today. He's been dealing with oblique pain and hasn't been practicing much. The last time, remember that those two teams played, or the last time I remember the season. I don't know if that was the second time or the first time, but they went into overtime. It was a great game, and Seattle went for 2, and they ended up winning that football game. Great game. So,
yeah.
Do we think that this is the Rams' destiny, or do we think that Seattle finds a way to win this one?
So this is a hard one. And
it is.
And listen, I will Seattle is absolutely my team to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I have slight reservations, and part of that comes from Zach Charbonnet being out.
Yes, big time, big
And
time.
I was like,
big time.
Even though I mean, that's not an all hope is gone type thing, because that defense is mean. That defense is mean, and you still have Jackson Smith, and you got JSN, you got JSN, but it makes it a little bit more like it could go either way. I'm still gonna rock with Seattle though today. So
yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna go with Seattle, and I think the Charbonnet is the big why I'm not, because I don't think Walker can do 30 runs. I mean, he can, but how impactful is that going to be? They were a good 1-2 punch, and taking him out to me is huge. One thing I've known about Sam Darnold too is like if their run game is not doing well and then they start throwing the ball, that's bad business for Sam Darnold, baby. Bad fucking business. And you add the fact that the man has an oblique injury, and
I'm thinking about USC. I'm thinking about how many.
What do you do? Oh yeah. Oh, and with the Jets, remember? Like, don't get me wrong, he's gotten better, but like, yo, and this your obliques right here, like on your sides. That's your side. So that affects your throwing motion, right? So now if you out here and you gotta throw the ball 40 times, right? I'm sorry, I'm not rolling with it. It don't work for me.
Yeah, but they're gonna give him that shot though. He ain't gonna know.
It's true, right?
But that is also like that will not stop the new pain. Like if somebody hit you there, it's gonna hurt.
Right. Exactly. How many shots you gonna take, bro? Like your body can only do so much.
Look, the nervous system didn't stop right there. They done shot him up all week. ain't nothing going there.
So I'm just saying, like, I don't trust it because of that. I don't think that's gonna be like a blowout or anything, right? Like, obviously Seattle's defense is still really good. Like you already said, they got JSN. All of those things are still there. So you have to assume that Seattle's absolutely going to make this a game. I just think that one person is more equipped to deal with adversity from a quarterback position than the other, and that to me is Matthew Stafford.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I am going to go the other side and say the Rams. So Charles has Patriots and Seahawks. I have Patriots and Rams. Either way, I sound bored. It's probably going to be good. I'm not really. I'm here for Bad Bunny, Brian.
We have to be grateful for what we asked for.
You're right. Look, I'm sure that the Super Bowl is going to be great because it's not like, look, the Patriots are a good football team. If you and I are right, the Patriots are.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, we didn't want the Chiefs, and we didn't want.
I know. I know what you meant. Yeah. Okay. I know. That's what I'm saying. I know that they're a good football team. So
you don't have nobody to hate.
Or like. I'm indifferent about everybody. I'm indifferent about everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't like, well, it's the Seahawks go, which I did not pick the Seahawks, right? You did. But if Seahawks go, I'm absolutely rooting for the Seahawks because of Mike McDonald. But if the Rams go, I'm just over here like this.
I know.
Well, I know. Bad Bunny, come on.
But listen, I am all for focusing on Benito. Like, that's my number one Spotify artist. I'm welcome. Everybody, welcome to the party. It's going to be a thing. I'm very excited about it. So, but we don't have nobody to hate. Yeah, and we don't have nobody to absolutely love either.
I don't love nobody. I don't hate nobody. And
now, I'm going to tell you, Sam Darnold getting to the Super Bowl is kind of a thing because, we had thrown that baby out with the wash water, and I think we had every right to do so. I mean, we had every right to do so. I mean, you and I watched college, and yes, he was very good at USC, but he threw a whole lot of interceptions and did all of that when he came for the Jets. So, like, he's given us a body of work that would have us to be a little bit leery about.
Right.
Too. However,
And I saw him
it
in that
is a
playoff
story.
game last year when he was with the Vikings. He was terrible. So that's
Yeah.
another thing too. I seen playoff Darnold before. It ain't good.
Thinking problem extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Boy, what is going on here?
Thinking problem extraordinaire. All
Yeah.
right, real quick, college football season is over. Rita and Charles are sad because we love it. It's great. But guess what, friend? That national championship did not disappoint. That's another hate watch I had, friend. I was watching that man. I said, Indiana, you better pull this one out. You better pull this one out because that was a great hate watch. All my hate watches of the weekend died. And it was lovely for me. Lovely. I had a great weekend. Okay. So as you know, Indiana won the national championship, although Miami made it a very, they fought. They definitely fought because that defense is good. But Carson Beck showed y'all what a lot of us have already been saying. Not a bad quarterback, not great, just mid. And when the game was on the line, he threw a pick to end the season. And that was glorious for me. So, thoughts about that real quick.
What's funny about that? Soon as they maintained, they secured that possession. My timeline on Blue Sky was everybody was like, here is where Carson Beck either wins the game or throws a pick.
Yeah.
It was like 6 or 7 people that said the same thing. I said it. I was like, this is either going to be the worst game of his life or the best game of his life. And then everybody else said, I was like, I wish I would have screenshot that because we already know him. Well, we know him because we've been watching him play football for 10 years. And that's exactly, boop, that's what happened. What happened. Like we said before, Indiana had to win this because now all your 30-year-old players is gone.
Now, to be this year. Now, to be fair, Miami got some old people too, friend. So do they got more? No, right? Yeah, but Carson Beck, we just sat here and talked about. They got a couple of defensive guys that's old. Like they ain't no spring chickens neither. That's just the world we live in with the transfer.
But they are not the undefeated team that is not typically a football school that has come out of the weeds and gone all the way to the national championship with this story behind them and this, this charismatic quarterback. Like this is the year that you win that whole thing. It would have been kind of like that year where the Patriots could have been undefeated for the entire year.
2007. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So like you got to do it now, but also, and that was a reference, but you don't have the same things happen in the NFL as you do with college. Like, that's rotating out. Like they gonna have a whole brand new team next year.
Yep, facts. You're gonna be having guys going to the NFL and all those other things. So it was
graduating and because they're on their 8th year.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you're not gonna have and because of the transfer portal, people just cycle in and out because I think that Mendoza's brother, who was right behind him on the roster, was he right behind him? Yeah, he's already transferred out.
Yeah, he transferred. Yep, he sure did. One thing for me, nobody from Miami can ever talk about how old somebody is. They had a tight end on that team that was damn near 30 years old. He had already gotten his master's degree. So Miami Hurricanes. Last year, I had a dude that was damn near 30 years old. I don't want to hear shit about nobody being old, okay? Nobody being old. Because y'all had a 30-year-old fucking man on that damn roster, okay? Stop.
Yeah, and
he wasn't 30, but he was like 28.
Hey, people were so shocked when Carson Beck said, I already graduated.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Ben graduated. Ben.
So,
what's his name? Tony was 12 years old when Carson Beck graduated from high school. 12.
Please get out of my go.
And now they was on the same team.
Job.
Go get a job. Okay, go get a job. And I think Carson Beck said something like, "Oh, I'll be back." No, the fuck you won't. You need to go to the NFL. Go be somebody's backup, or maybe you've already been told that you probably won't be like. You might be undrafted, whatever, but then go sell insurance, bro. Leave us alone.
And that's why they want to stay because they're getting their NIL money now.
Right.
Because before everybody was jumping. So now the age of so many things are going to shift with all of this, but like the age of the NFL is going to get older and older, because you're going to have people instead of having guys come out at 20. Now the good players are going to come out, right? The really, really good ones are going to come out after 2 years. But like you're going to get 25, 26. I mean, Michael Penix, how old was Michael Penix when he came
Old,
out?
another one.
And old is what, 24, 25, something like that.
Yes.
So like you're going to start seeing
Michael
that.
Penix was about to be 25 when he came out.
Was about to be 25, and you look, some people 25 and they've been in the NFL for 4 years, you know. But you're gonna start seeing that as long as they can make that NIL money, and they want to get as much as he can. And like we know that with Trinidad Chambers, who wants to play for his 6th year. Boy, if you don't go get the job.
He said he's trying to raise his draft stock. Well, baby, you're going to have to do that in the NFL. You're just going to have to raise your stock in the NFL, friend.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Good, like, you might not get to the national championship again next year. Like, that is not a given. Yeah. So you got far, you got further, and with a level of adversity that others won't have to experience, because your head coach left and took the coordinators and took everybody, and y'all still won what, 2 playoff games or 1 playoff game, 2 playoff games? Okay. So like, hey, ride on that. Ride out.
Ride out. Ride out.
6 years is done. Don't nobody go. And yeah, we might not think of 6 years because we know that he, you know, I think he came from like a junior college or whatever. So he only had one. So don't matter. Ride out. This is where you go.
Yep.
You might be doing punt returns or something. At least you there.
Well, Bobby, hey, you got to get where you fit in.
Hey, Jalen Milroe is on that Seahawks team. He just as happy as he can be, swapping jerseys with people. He just as happy, and you know he got a thinking problem, so he was not going to start in the NFL. You know I know my quarterbacks.
Y'all just got to figure this out.
Tumbleweeds going around, but guess what? He probably on special teams. He probably go in and, you know, certain little packages here and there. Nothing that requires thought.
Right.
That man getting a check though, and guess what? Every time they win a game, he get another check, a big one.
He getting a check.
53,000, 58,000. I don't know if the next one. Hey,
he getting a check every single time.
You go. So, Trinidad, call your friend up, call him up and see what he look like on that side.
Exactly. So you better go ahead and just figure it out, friend. All right, it is volcano time.
Child.
Is your volcano serious or not serious?
My volcano probably is going to be serious, so you go first.
All right, so let me go first. I put Michael Irvin in the volcano, okay? Because he got to go, friend. I'm sorry, he got to go in that fucking volcano. Look, Michael was doing too much to the point where we thought that Mike was back on them drugs, okay? And then he want to go on the podcast and say cocaine don't make you high for 5 hours. Now, here's the thing. I think that we are well aware that you are high energy. I don't think that we've ever thought that you were a low energy guy. You've always been a high energy guy.
He definitely is.
But that doesn't mean that the cocaine don't propel you to be high energy, okay? So then you want to say, I haven't touched it in 20 years. Now, Mike, I'm sorry. I don't believe you, okay? I don't believe that, all right? You want to know why? Because I watched a grown-ass man, almost 60 years old, be going to these college football games and was pulling out belts and talking about belt the ass, okay? A grown fucking almost 60 years old man was out here talking about belt the ass. Not the kid that was playing, not a fan. An almost 60-year-old man was talking about belt the ass every single time. And I just was like, so nobody is going to say, hey, bro, just stop. Stop it. You are a Hall of Fame wide receiver. And in this playoff run, you have became a caricature. That's just crazy to me. It is insane how we are now looking at you as a caricature, to the point where you had to go to the podcast and say, I wasn't on no drugs. Well, Mike, I know you was having fun, but I cannot imagine have my child's grandfather doing that on national TV. You was having a little too much fun, friend. It was a little embarrassing. I'm just making the point. You was embarrassing. Okay, I'm sure your kids was a little embarrassed. I know you was. The first time it was funny. Then you kept doing it, bro. It wasn't funny no more. It was actually like, okay, what's going on? Are we okay over there? You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just saying, I gotta put you in there. I'm not gonna put a hard lid on it. Okay, we love you, Mike. We love you. But that belt the ass was a little. You had me out here nervous, friend. I don't know what the fuck. And they said you was just like that the whole time. They said you was like you was just like who, like how? How do you want us to think that you're not doing anything, friend? I don't know. So I gotta softly put you in the volcano. Not throwing you in. I'm just gonna gently put you in the volcano because it was worrying me. Okay, so I hope you've calmed down since then, and I hope not to see that if y'all go back next year. I really do. I hope not to see that. Okay, so I had to put Michael Irvin in the volcano, friend, but more like a timeout volcano, not like he can't come out of the volcano. He
So
just
is
got.
he at the bottom of the volcano and he hasn't walked all the way up yet. But if he keep playing, he's about to walk up and jump in.
Yes.
I am so entertained by him, but also I think that like he's so well liked that he gets a pass for a lot. Like when you talk about his family, he probably act like that in that house every time.
And I've known it in person.
And Miami play. So and listen, let me tell you something. You can let a lot that someone does go when they paying the bills. and like if my daddy rich and I ain't had to pay no bills, boy, go ahead out there, Harvey. Cut up.
Not you enabling it because of pay bills. You a terrible child, bro. Somebody gotta be honest with him. You know, Dad.
Yeah.
All right, do something else. Not the belt no more.
You know, I'm the hardest person on my daddy because I will pull him. I'll pull my daddy's ear right now. I know you us. So I am actually talking shit right now for real. But yeah, Michael, I want him to sit down before you have a damn heart attack.
That's all I'm saying. Every time I say, "Lord have mercy," is he gonna be okay? That's all I wanted to know.
And I want him to cut that hair off his head. Cut the hair off your head. Boy, get a fade.
Get a fade. Or lock it. Do something. Or lock it for real. Like not for play.
Oh, that's not locked for real? Hey, you know what? Don't answer that because I don't even want to know.
All right.
I don't even want to know.
All right, what's your volcano?
So I decided not to do serious for the volcano. So my volcano is going to be for the people. This is based off a chat that I was in and today, and we were talking about because the weather, like if we are in a weather system right now, snowing, sleeting, and all of that kind of stuff, and then people keep saying it ain't a foot of snow. The weatherman lied. And I want to put people who have an issue with the terms forecast and prediction in the volcano. Those words are whooping y'all ass, and you are letting everybody know.
Mm-hmm.
The weather people, and listen, I got the weather person right here, right? If it wasn't going to snow, that's who would have told me it wasn't going to snow. I'm listening. But you take all of the information. You look at, because Rita be reading the real Dopplers. So like you take all of the information.
Love a Doppler.
You take weather predictions they take it from multiple countries. They take everything and they take all of this information and they look at that information and then they come up with a prediction. And weather also does what? Shifts. It moves. Something else come and blow things out of the way.
That's correct. That's correct.
Blow things that way. Sometimes, hey, just like what Rita's into tornadoes. The tornadoes, they start spinning one way, and then what they do? Turn around and go somewhere else.
They just move, yeah.
So, but going and attacking weather people. Oh, you lied. You lied. What, the weatherman has no reason to lie to you, dummy.
He's trying to help you prepare in case something happens.
Right. Like I'm looking and I keep looking out because I'm like, when is it going to stop sleeting? But like, I'd rather have snow than sleet. Sleet means, and with this cold means I'm going to be in here for longer than I thought. I can get through the snow. I can't cut through no ice with 15 degrees out here. We in the Arctic. But like that term is whooping y'all tail. And I just want y'all to get in the volcano because this is also the problem we have with your comprehension skills in general. Because you are inflexible when you're presented with new information. And that's a problem. And you're telling all of us that you got a problem with the words.
Thinking.
You heard her.
Thinking problem.
Use your brain cells, son.
Use your
A
brain.
prediction, a forecast, probabilities. Y'all need to get in the volcano because we need to go back to the basics. We're gonna have to go right back to the basics, and we can apply that to everything else. When you hear things, that is how people thought that there was antennas and that was in your masks and stuff. Y'all the same people,
Mm-hmm.
and
Facts.
it's embarrassing. So
Facts.
I don't want y'all to debate. I want y'all to get all the way in the volcano.
All the way in the volcano because we tired.
Look, that clears out my entire Facebook timeline.
That we tired, y'all. We tired. And look, maybe where you from, you ain't get the storm we did here. So I don't know what.
Yeah. Now we didn't get 13 inches of snow. It also hasn't stopped.
It also hasn't stopped.
Hey, it's coming down out here.
Yeah, the accumulations ain't over, friend. So just sit down and wait. Sit down and wait. So,
but I want you to work. I want you to sit with those words: forecast, prediction,
and predictions.
Sit with it.
Sit with it. Sit with it, please, dude. Thank you so much. All right. Before we go, I'm sure we probably have a similar final thought, but I'll let Chels start.
Actually, I don't. I'm gonna change up my final thought because I want to. I'm gonna go. I got an idea what yours gonna be. I want to give a shout out. And my shout out is to, I've been watching Unrivaled. If y'all not watching Unrivaled, that is high quality, high skilled basketball. It is drama. It is cinema. Okay. And I want to give a shout out to Dominique Malunga for the dunk. And shout out to Marina Mayberry for stepping the fuck out the way and letting her dunk and not getting dunked on. But we don't get to see women do that kind of things. And so when it is done, it's a thing. And I think that's the second dunk that we've seen in Unrivaled basketball. And also having Lisa Leslie, who is the dunker, to see something like that. And Lisa Leslie is just a gem in there. She's so excited for everybody. And she just like, you could just see everybody just lose it when that happens. So shout out to Dominique Malunga for that.
Yeah, that's dope. That was dope. So yes, that was great. Yeah, my final thought is just fuck ICE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's disgusting. What we're saying is disgusting. Please don't lose your empathy, people. Please don't allow let your eyes tell you the story and not other people's words, because what you see is valid. Humanity is becoming a lost art. Caring for people is becoming a lost art. If you are not rich, they don't give a fuck about you. I know we sit here and say black and brown people, but guess what? We didn't see 2 white people be murdered by ICE. So it's not, if you're not a rich white person, you could be the next victim too. Okay. So y'all have to start standing up. It ain't just black and brown people no more.
And I'm sorry that it had to come to this, because it didn't, because we have sacrificed our lives enough for you to have been able to get it.
Yep.
And that the gentleman who was killed, Andrew Peretti, when you work in a hospital, you absorb a great deal. When I worked in the hospital, I was like, I'm tired. Like, I've been running all day, but you are mentally exhausted. Seeing people clinging to life, seeing people code. And this is ICU nurse, right? And to maintain your level of compassion through all of that is a lot. Like, it takes a lot to do that work. And he was in the VA hospital and like shot him down like a dog in the street.
Did.
And slapped. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And I did watch the video because I don't want to make myself numb. Also, sometimes for me, if I don't watch the thing, I will create my own version in my mind, and that might be worse. In this instance, it was not, but like that might be worse. But also, I don't want to be numb. Like we have to bear witness. We have to bear witness. We have to see it. And shout out to people. Hey, the people in Minnesota is kicking ass. Like, no matter what this looks like, they kicking ass out there.
They
Them
sure
people
are.
mean business. And they are in it for the long haul. They standing out there and it's cold as hell. And you know, people talk about folks protesting all the time and oh, it don't mean nothing. Well, then you get the fuck out there then.
Yep, exactly.
You go
Exactly.
out there and you know,
Exactly.
you got people, you might say, oh, they just out here waving their little flags and they wearing their little costumes. But you get out there and wear your costume out there. I did one big protest and I was tired for 3 days. There's people that's been out there every single day. And so it ain't the ones that's out there, it's the ones that need to be out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, but yeah, listen, when this is wraps up, and I'm going to maintain hope because that's all we have. I want to see public hangings. Let's go old school. Let's go old school.
Hangings, stonings, executions. We want it all.
Shame. All of the
Shame.
shame.
Bring back shame.
All of the shame.
And I've been to Minnesota, you know, a couple of times. The nicest people.
Oh my God.
The nicest people. You know, so to see these communities, these people. I mean, it doesn't matter if people are nice or not, really. I mean, as long as you're not, you know, trying to murder people, it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? But to know that I've been there and I've always felt welcome there, and that everybody was nice to me, it breaks my heart even more. You know, this is this is a tight knit community of people, and you know, when you go out in Minneapolis, like yes, it's tons of Somalians that live there, and they are able to move just like white people because everybody is so used to them being there. It's not, it's not a big, you know what I mean? Everybody is just nice. So to see it happen to these group of people really breaks my heart because there are some great people that live out there. And so, you know, it's not gonna, it may get worse before it gets better. And I'm gonna stay hopeful that, you know.
Yeah, we have to maintain hope. You cannot throw up your hands. That is the absolute sign of weakness. We cannot throw up our hands. We have to remain hopeful. We have to figure out what these people need and get it to them because right now they being followed in the grocery stores, all kind of foolishness. But like to piggyback on what you said, you know, I think you and I experienced Minneapolis for the first time together, and we were wild. Like I always tell people, that was one of the best trips I've had. I ate everything there. I ate all of the chicken wild rice, like chicken and wild rice soup. Like it was, but everybody just made us feel super, super. Like that's the real Midwestern charm. And I'm so sad to see that places that we traveled as tourists look very, very different now. So shout out to them. Y'all keep y'all foot on these people next. It's more of us than them, and they know it, which is the reason why they're scared.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes fear, but like you know, the white people that are listening to us, this is the price that you have to pay for being an ally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Because you would be next. If they get rid of all the black and brown people, guess what? You would be next.
Yeah, this is the price you pay. And so many white Americans have lost their lives fighting alongside, you know, black and brown people for civil rights. And like, this is the price. This is the real price. And so if you righteous enough, pull up.
That part. So we want y'all to enjoy the games. We'll be back to talk about, you know, the recap of those games and what we are looking forward to for the Super Bowl. So,
yeah.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate you on IG. I've seen some of y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Y'all don't know what went into getting this stream up. I was like, this is not my jam over here.
But you did.
We need to do it more often, though. That's the problem. We do it more often, we be in a rhythm. But you know, it is what it is. We hope y'all have a good time.
All right, guys. Enjoy the games and have a good Sunday.